Friends, good evening to you all, and I am very, very thankful to Dr. Samir Babu and the department and the university for inviting me to interact with you. Instead of lecture, I would uh, call it as interaction with the scholars. Uh, I would rather I believe in this saying that uh, I will mostly depend on my research experiences and teaching experiences, and you know, both at the national level and the international level, and mostly depending on my direct experiences and observations across the country and across some countries outside India. Now, it will go like this, that the issue, the theme or the topic is very, very important, relevant. I'm personally very happy, and I congratulate Dr. Samir Babu for selecting such a important, theme for this session. Now, I will depend also on what do you call it, this. There are one or two research, survey research reports published by NCRT dealing with the research trends in education as a discipline. Now, friends, let me tell you, very first point I wish to observation I will want to make is this, that no research is 100% perfect. Social science, definitely not, because everything is abstract and nothing in concrete. All depends on your abilities, critical abilities to observe, to understand, to comprehend, to write, to rewrite, and to reproduce. That's all. Now, the term quality academic research. Now, academic would generally, include the teaching, uh, research, and the publication. Into bracket, the learning. One who teaches also the learn same time. Now, the quality academic research in social science, the problems and prospects. Now, this topic is very vast and has got many, many dimensions. Of course, I will not be able to do the justice to the entire topic fully and properly within the given time limit. Now, let me tell you, quality, the term quality itself is a relative term. What you call quality or I call quality may not be acceptable to you. It may be halfway, it may be more than halfway, but it may not be fully quality for you in social science research. But there is something called minimum. Minimum average must be fulfilled by the research scholars to maintain the quality. Now, this quality is depending on two major, you know, issues. One is the society in general, outside the education system, and the second is within the education system, because they are reciprocatory and they are depending on each other. Which society, culture, social, environment, cultural
ഒരു
environment,
ഉമ്മ വന്നിട്ട് പോ.
what
എപ്പോ വരും ഇനി പറഞ്ഞ ഇവിടെ നിക്കാന്ന് പറ.
can I go ahead?
ഇവിടെ വന്ന് നിൽക്കും, ഇവിടെ നിക്കാന്ന് പറ.
So the social, historical, cultural, language, diversity, and political and economic dimensions are directly or
മാസ്ക് മാറ്റിയിട്ടാ.
Samir, what is that?
ആ Here.
Just a minute, sir. I am just unmuting them. Sorry.
Okay, I'll wait.
Yes, I think she's mute now.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir. All right.
Okay. Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was referring to the term called quality. Now, quality depends on various non-educational factors. Like, for example, the best example is the Indian society. The social structure, political, economic, also the educational, historical, language, diversity, and political. All those dimensions are, reflecting into the educational, discourse. I will not go into details of all these because there is no time and my major focus would be on education. Now, going to the educational sector. Now, the education sector is to us modern education relatively very new. Uh, Whereas there are universities established in, let's say, 8th century, 9th century, like Cambridge University was established in 8th century. uh, London School of Economics, 1890, Paris, 1220. This is the long tradition, the history of those universities, modern universities. We have borrowed from the definitely Britishers, but then implementing into Indian scenario, it's finding difficult to settle down because of the nature of the society and the structure of the society. Now, between the two, major problem to affect the quality can be called as the language. Research depends on mainly, majorly on the English language, which is the foreign language for us. And the majority education takers come from non 100% come from non-English background, at least the 99%. And within that, those who come from convent school background and those who come vernacular background, all this is reflected into the quality. Now, what happens is that, as you see, the majority these days, the takers of higher education are hardly 4% in Indian society. Now, within this 4%, you can see that the elites, those who come from well-off background and urban background, they go ahead. And those who come from rural and poor background, vernacular background, they remain behind, mainly because of the language problem. Now, language, English to do the research. Now, research itself is further expanded into the research language. Each discipline has its own language. Journalism, law, they all have their own language. Research has its own language. Now, what's happening is because the language, within the language, dual barrier, the quality gets affected. Now, what happens is that, your research, MPhil, PhD level research or otherwise is directly linked to your jobs, unlike Western countries. Of course, they also depend on job, but the question is this, that I am compelled to do my MPhil and PhD to get promoted or to get a job. I am compelled to complete the JRF and the NET and all that to get a academic job. Now the point is this. Let me ask the question to answer for yourself. You may not be able to answer or may not answer right now. After all, what is research? If you think about this seriously and rationally, what is research? Now, basically it demands contribution to the knowledge of the discipline. I would call it as a research. New findings or contribution to the subject or the topic you have selected or you have chosen. Now, what's happening is that, contribution to the knowledge of the discipline is a major, one of the major objectives of the research. And if you don't do that, quality will be bad. In the sense that what is that new you are finding from your research? Now, there are different types of research, evaluation, exploratory, all those, case studies and all that. Now, the point is this, my basic contention is this. Research in Indian situation goes with fear, sort of nausea. And that nausea is generated inside the classroom by the teachers like me and Samir. Because research methodology is start making it more difficult. That's overall in Indian situation. Number one, that teaching also is affected by the language barrier, the language problem, the research language problem. Now the question is this, why do I do the research? After all, research is an exercise to find out the facts which are new and that are interrelated and interlinked. And ultimately, you summarize this into your conclusion. Now, the question is this, that the educational policy, that implementation of that policy and educational structure, pedagogy, contents and the objectives of education, that at the higher level of education before you get into research are predetermined by all these factors. Now, ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that educational training in general is certainly poor. Language is one such barrier I have mentioned, the access, the performance, the affordability, all that. Together, your performance, academic performance is getting affected. Now the point is this, that let me ask you a simple and straightforward question. Why do you want to do research? We have seen what is research. Why did I do my PhD? Why did Dr. Samir Babu do his PhD? Job is at a secondary level. Definitely it's important. I don't undermine that. But what I say is, prior to the employment, prior to the job, am I able to contribute to the knowledge of the discipline through my research? And then I have said what research is. So the research, before research, research and post-research, these are very important interlinked dimensions when you call it a quality of quality academics or quality research. Now, Indian education system definitely suffers structurally, functionally, objective-wise, policy-wise, implementation-wise. Now, the educational stratification in the country, for example, central universities, institutes of national importance, and state universities deemed to be universities, all that is together, and each university has its own culture and the tradition, academic. So what is happening is ultimately we found the research to be the issue that suffers a lot because the training is not good. Training the trainer is that training of the trainer is also poor. Let me say, let me tell you, based on my experiences of my own research or research reports or the theses or the research guidance, I would say my most of the times time goes into correcting the language. Number one. Number two, selection of the topic. Many students in India ask the guide to suggest the advice, suggest the topic. It is not so. That means the teacher, the guide, there's two scholars and the system of education there and the research training, that methodology all together do not go inclusive to each other. They do not correspond to each other. Ultimately what happens, the quality of research suffers. My objective has been in my career that whatever I do I must publish it. I have published my PhD thesis, definitely, but don't mistake that I am the exception to all these weaknesses. I am also part of it. I am also part of the situation. I'm still learning. My only point is this: what do I learn from my students, and what do I teach to my students? Now the question is to maintain the quality one has to depend on training. And that the training is poor, your research quality goes poor because your skills, your abilities to do research, critical ability to think critically and to analyze the facts, that is the data, that adds to the bad quality of research. Now, research training has been poor, definitely, and that is because also the students or the scholars they come from, the background they come from, and training of the trainer, like for example, Tata Institute of Social Sciences offers, I don't know right now whether they offer the certificate course in research methodology. Very eminent. When I joined, then the eminent professor Ramachandran, Professor Hipsur, and all that, they brought out the publication also. Very useful, very qualitative, very good research, training. Now, what happens is the psychology behind is this, that culturally we learn how to hide weaknesses. I'm referring to the academic, intellectual weaknesses. Nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. You are not perfect. Why to hide? I don't know, so this. And teachers would say, you don't know this. Teachers also may not know this. The question is the open, rational, without any fear, the interaction, that environment I have witnessed in the Western countries, Oxford, Cambridge, or whatever, London School of Economics and many other countries, is not there in Indian universities, barring to a great extent the Jawaharlal University, definitely yes, but now also it is getting into the mess. The question is this: even if I am bad, I'm not good in English language. If I'm not good in English language or the research language, I must learn. I must relearn. I must learn additionally outside the classroom also. Like suppose I have been to your university, I was invited by Dr. Samir even before once and some two, three other universities. What do they? What do the students, scholars do when they sit in the cafeteria or the canteen? What do they discuss? So academic discussion and discourse is minimal. See, there are two things to learn. One is the classroom and the books, and second is your formal, informal groups outside the classroom. I have learned many things, not only from my teachers, but also from my students. The question is, teachers should be free enough, good enough, sympathetic enough, and teachers also should not hide that I do not know the answer of this question, must say openly and frankly, and try and seek the answer and get back to the students. Now, the point is that the universities in our country do not really insist on maintaining the qualities. For example, I'm telling you, I have this report. This is sixth survey of educational research published by NCERT from 1993 to 2000. That is the period. The research trend has been identified. My contribution is there in sociology of education. I have covered in this report 375 studies, including 250 theses. There are 3 theses from your university also in here. I have evaluated. The question is then, 90% of these studies, history, psychology, value education, economics, and sociology of education, all 4 or 5 disciplines are here. 90% studies are found to be repetitive. Now, I would suggest Dr. Sameer, if your library university subscribes to this report, this comes 4 yearly from published by NCERT. If it is not there, please do subscribe. It shows the trend report and exactly the studies are summarized in a paragraph. What the studies is about, what are the findings, and what are the methodology. Now the question is, let me get back again to the problem that begins with and affecting the quality research. One is selecting the topic. If you select the topic that is already done, what are you going to do? That is done in Kerala, but not done in Maharashtra or in Uttar Pradesh. The question is this, then, before you decide the topic, I am supposed to go through the existing researches done in that particular discipline with that particular topic. And what you feel is important, you must prove it. Convey and convince that it's very important and it's not repetitive. It is done with this approach. I am doing this with this new approach. So it is important for me to do. Now, again, the, what do you call it? The after you decide the topic, what is the next step? You must introduce the topic and do the review of literature. Now, research is a hard work. It's a process. It's not 1 year or 2 year business only. So if you review the literature, now you have to prepare the list of references to review within given frame of your area of interest. Now, how to do the review of literature again is a skill that is to be taught in the classroom by the teacher. Review of literature, how to quote, what is this, how to use, what are the findings, what way they are relevant for you, what way they are irrelevant for you, what to omit, what to quote and what to use. That is supporting your topic or escaping your topic, but you are using that to understand the ideas and the concepts. Please remember, when you do the review of literature, you must select the list of references first. They are not available, suppose in Kerala University, in your department. What will you do? Now, the digital device, the internet, the Google, and you can use that also. And also you can use the libraries of other universities. Now, suppose, you have to be very selective, very careful while doing the referencing. You are using the others' work to support your work or to add to their work. That's very important. If you do that, you must then mention the review of what do you call the relevance of this study. Now, why this topic is very important for you? I'm basically referring to achieve the maximum level of the quality of your research. Otherwise, what happens? If you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 references which are uh, directly not linked, not related, or unnecessary you are quoting, that becomes very difficult for a reader to understand as to why this topic is important for you, what others have done into this area, and what you are new going to do this area. Now, uh, basically, after you this review of literature and you defend your study, you prove the relevance of your study. What next is very important is the key part of your any research, whether it is a project report study or it is a thesis or a MPhil level or a PhD level or postdoctoral, framing the objectives. Dear friends, it depends on the educational environment and the research environment where you are studying in, which your department. I'm not saying this or that university is good or bad in this sense, but after you know prove the relevance, you must frame the objectives. Now, I have seen scholars framing the objectives 10 in number, 12 in number, 9, 8 in number. My God, how one can do the justice to achieve these 10, 12, 9, 8 objectives in a single thesis? I will be utterly fail to achieve those objectives in number. Now, although there is no rule that you should frame 10, 5, 6, I would generally go in for more than not 4 to 5 main objectives of your study. And after you frame your objectives, the first sentence in your research proposal would be, in order to achieve the aforesaid objectives, following methodology will be adopted. Now, here is the real test of your knowledge and understanding of the research methodology. Now, research methodology has the outline, the steps, logical steps. Now, these logical steps, first step or first point in the methodology subsection would be, where do you want to conduct the study or do the study? That is in research language called universe of the study. What you call that spotlight, the circus, you have the special light to focus on particular tiger or the lion or the person who is playing the games. That kind of, and you have to justify that. Everything you have to justify. Universe of the study is very, very important. Now, research design. Believing that your training in research methodology is good, research design or say the hypothesis, or again the hypotheses are 3, 4, 5 in number. How does one, I'm sorry to say, you know, afford to prove or disprove or handle this 4 to 5 or 6 research hypotheses, maximum 1 or 2. वो तो करके दिखाओ. First you prove the 1 or the 2 hypotheses. All these steps are very important for you to go logically. It will be easy, convenient for you to write, to analyze, to critically analyze, to make it more. And when you do this stepwise, logical stepwise, your research is good, and I would call it a quality research. Now, thesis report and the project report have different context. Project report doesn't go into depth, theoretical and uh, contextual, global issue. Now, your theoretical frame, your thesis may be with the use of theory particular, or two theories, or may not be without, maybe without theories also. It's not necessary to go with theories. Now, to understand theories and to use those theories, again a skill. How to use that? I cannot now, because it is a distance mode, I cannot, demonstrate many things. Nor I have made a presentation that, slides also. The question is, ask your teacher, ask your guide or your research methodology teacher, read the books, the good books on research methodology, how to frame the thesis, what is that hypothesis, and how to use that, and the references or the theories also. It's very, 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 very important. And then going to what you call is the sources of data, field work, then secondary data, primary data, tools of data collection, sampling. All these are the important steps. If you like, I can mail these steps which are ready with me to Dr. Samir, and he can share with you if you like. Now the question, I am not trying to teach you. I am trying to share with you and to let you know, to take the precautions. Once you complete your thesis and submit, you cannot make any change. Only when you publish it. Please remember one thing, aspire to publish your thesis. That should be the ultimate aim of your thesis. Otherwise, it's pending in your library or the funding agency. Nobody will read that. There is no connectivity, strong and good connectivity between the universities or the researchers or otherwise academic also. What's happening in Kerala University, I don't know. What's happening at Tata Institute of Social Sciences or JNU or the DU, you don't know. Now the question is, the country is very vast. There are many universities, diversities and complications and complexes. The question is still then, we can try and make efforts. What's wrong? And make it a good study. And like don't ask me then when do you call it a good study. Good study will depend on the steps you follow that I am suggesting to you. See, for example, the international study, two studies I have done international studies with British academicians. Now all very easy going in the sense that nobody was trying to show off. I am from Cambridge and I am from Oxford, so I know better. No issue. I would not say I am from India and I have come from all this environment, like a handicap environment like this, so I don't know this. If I don't know this, they will tell you. If they don't know, we will tell them. Learning from each other. And please remember, both the studies are, the reports are, this British Council funded, how much, like 1 crore pounds. And that is Indo-British, both the countries. And there was a team We were 2 here and there were 4 there in Great Britain. Now it's a comparative study and it is published also. But I will still say, although it is published, although it is completed successfully and satisfactorily, it is not a complete study 100%. No study, no thesis is social science research at least is can claim to be perfect fully. Please remember that. Now the question is then, my only problem is to develop how to develop the research skills. Research is based on skills. Those skills are adapted, learned in the classroom or from the books and also from my teachers and my fellow colleagues. I'll tell you one thing that many of the students are scholars, are research scholars. I am told by Dr. Sami that they are sitting in here. Now the question is, you know, the difference between questionnaire and the interview schedule. I will not ask you to answer this, but try and know what the difference is. It's a tool for data collection. What is sample size? Sample size, the bigger, the better is wrong. Select the sample size that is suitable to fulfill your objectives. If your sample is 50, can you generalize? If your sample is 500 and 5,000, can you generalize? No thesis is able to and in a position to make the generalization. Don't get tempted into that. And also don't get tempted into give the suggestions in your thesis. No, thesis doesn't go. Project report goes necessarily with the suggestions, whereas the thesis doesn't go with the suggestions or recommendations rather. Don't do that. That's my individual personal understanding. You may accept, you may agree, you may disagree. That's up to you. But the question is, again, data collection. Suppose you go pre-testing and all that, you go for data collection in the village. Now you are working, your thesis is on the one of the marginalized communities. For example, the scheduled caste, Dalits or the Muslims. And you belong to neither of the communities. What will you do? And you are doing the case studies or you are doing the primary data collection from the Dalit bastis or the Muslim bastis. I would personally go and try to stay with them for the period I am supposed to be there to complete my data collection. Please, data collection is collection of bones. In research language, it is called. You are collecting the bones. The flesh remains away. Like chicken bone and the chicken flesh. That is the analogy used in the research. During data collection, you must sit in the evening night before you go to bed, write a diary. It's very, very, very important. Diary which is recording the things, the points, the facts that are not there covered in the interview schedule or in the data collection, while conducting the interview. Do you get me? And that adds the quality to the quality of the thesis. Now, suppose, a woman talking about her harassment in the family, will she talk in the presence of the in-laws and the husband? If she does, she will get beaten up in the night. What will you do? If you are studying the dowry system and anti-dowry measures, what will you do? Or caste, or untouchability, or religion, or education. All this education. Now the question is, I must be taught with how to write diary and what are the things, facts observations I must maintain the record of. That's very, very important for us. Now, let me tell you, at this stage, there are a few more points that higher education research in higher education area is grossly grossly ignored in India, because I am from higher education. Higher education is grossly what you call, elementary education, primary education, secondary education. It's all well done. Higher education, technical professional education, gender, religion, caste in higher education. Where are the studies? You tell me. First generation learners who are learning engineering, medical, or who are learning in what do you call it, professional courses like management and the MBA and the other things, or the arts, science, commerce, all that, and the gender there, the women there. Luckily, your state is much advanced in educationally, yes, but I do not know much about Kerala and the higher education. It's my mistake first, but also the mistake of the Kerala universities also. I should reach out them. They also should make the efforts to reach out to me, what I can draw or learn from the researches that have been done. This is three universities that are covered in this report. This is not to criticize the university or the department. What I say, 90% researchers are repetitive. Why are they repetitive? Because the researchers do not take efforts, make efforts, or do the hard work to look beyond Kerala, beyond that particular issue, beyond that. And there are limitations, finance, that I understand. Financial, that's why you get JRF, that's why you get the fellowship, that's why you are sponsored, or you are self-sponsored. The question is how to collect the data which is of good quality and maintain the diary to use that while writing the report of the thesis. You collected the data, you may have the gaps there, you may not, you may get discouraged, the respondents may not, people, community may not cooperate with you, or they ask you to get out, get away, get lost. That had happened to me during my data collection of my thesis also in Delhi, close to Jain. What do I do? You must record all this in your thesis. You must write. Subtitle is data collection of the fieldwork, and you write all your experiences, which is very, very important to improve the quality of your thesis. Not that everything is ready-made and readily available. Now, the question is, are you able to identify yourself with the respondents? Will you be able to eat and sleep in the house of a scheduled caste of Andhra Pradesh or Maharashtra? Or maybe in Kerala, because I don't know much about Kerala. It may not be existing there, the distance and the discrimination and deprivation. But I'm sure in some other way it is there. Many of the respondents ask you, which caste do you belong to? Will you tell the truth? Most of the studies, first generation studies, second, third generation studies are done by upper caste scholars, professors and the research scholars, with due respect to them. You must have heard of Professor M.N. Srinivas, the remembered village. Whole day he used to be there with the respondents in the bastis in the village. Evening he will go with another Brahmin's house and live there and sleep there. That is not the research. I'll start one example. I'm still in touch with Paris-based research scholar who is a French himself, lived for 3 years in the slums of Kanpur city. And he's still writing and publishing articles on his data he collected, covering political side of it, religious side of it, education of it, economic. He's publishing anthropological study. Now, the question is, when he can do, why can't I do? He lived in there. He was narrating in Paris. I visited his house also. That how the rickshaw pullers in the slums used to drink the country liquor in the night, and he used to drink with them. I don't say you drink with them, but how to handle that situation. Yes, Sarah, all this has to do with your quality of research. Why the Westerners? Another example I'll cite very quickly. You must have heard of the anthropologist American Michael Maher. I had a opportunity to interact with him. I don't know presently what it is, where he is. He must be in America only. He has done 3-year research project on cow dung cakes. What do you call in Malayalam? Samir, what do you call cow dung cakes that are used for as a firewood, khana pakane ke liye, and also the fertilizer? Anybody can tell me?
Sir, it's Chanakam.
Huh?
Chanakam.
Chanakam.
Yes.
Ah. He has done research for 3 years nearby Agra, coming from US, on the cow dung cakes. Can you imagine? I attended his finding and presentation of findings. I attended in Delhi, in JNU. Now the size of cow dung cakes, use of cow dung cakes, and also the use of cow dung differs from caste to caste. Amount of cow dung that is being used daily in the villages also differs from caste. See the observation level. I will not go into details, but I'm very happy to tell. I want Indian scholars like you. I'm now old. I cannot do any more PhD. I don't want to do. But you must, come up and say, this is the published thesis from the Kerala University and published by and so publisher. You must say that. No one can stop you. If you have limitations of language, doesn't matter. If you have limitations of research skill, doesn't matter. If you have limitations of finance, doesn't matter. Or you don't do. Why are you doing research? Then your efforts to learn, your efforts to relearn, your efforts to analyze, comprehend, compare, and write the report. Right? I am still using the dictionary of sociology, research methodology books. They are still there in my study room and on my table. What's wrong? Now, seeking shortcuts is not a social science research or any research. What I want you to do is, all of you, including me, is to first commitment and dedication. I'm fully convinced that I will be able to do this with the hard work and the efforts, full commitment and devotion. Otherwise, I will not do. You can be a good scholar even without doing your PhD. You can be a good writer without even doing PhD. In my days, my professor used to be only MA qualification. They used to be proved to be very good teachers. They taught me sociology, education, many other subjects with just MA degree. Now, what's wrong? If you are with MA and BA, PhD and all that, and your performance is not to that extent good, what happens? Now, if you show the good quality of research work, which is universally admired or accepted or understood or appreciated, I promise you, you will get the invitations from the Western, American or the European universities on their own without you applying for the scholarship or the postdoctoral or visiting fellow. sorry to say, but I got invitations through my work. I didn't request them to invite me. They invited on their own. Now the question is to be a stylish, to show the style and the, you know, that doesn't matter. You know, no, that doesn't matter at all in the international research. I'm telling you, the best research works in my subject are from Europe and the US, with due respect to the original Indian scholars, barring one, two, three. Rest of the works are done abroad in my area of interest. Now the question is, how do I get into that level? That level can be achieved only by good quality of research work. Now, the point is again, uh, your aim, I have said, has to be to publish the work. Now, talking international scenario, if you do your PhD from Kerala University, nothing wrong and nothing bad. If you do your PhD from Cambridge or Sussex University, what is wrong? Or if you do the research project international, what is wrong? Now, to do the international research project or the PhD thesis or the invitations abroad or within India, for example, Calcutta University, Northeastern University, Hill University, TISS, definitely yes. Why not? But and your publications, unfortunately, what is happening is Indian academics is, I dare say, bias of gender, caste, and religion. I'm sorry to say this. This is based on my more than 45 years experience. I would say, but still there is a way out. You can definitely overcome all that and come out and say, yes, this is very important. For, like the courses you are taught after you register for a PhD, including the research methodology course. And that's all, you finish it there, pass the exam with A grade or A minus grade, and that's all, you forget everything. The whole thing, I'm not here to correct the universities and the policy and the government. No, I'm here to convey to you to get corrected or added with the skill, confidence, devotion, and the commitment to do the research. It begins with the language. I assure you, I have taught English language in my own ways to my own students, including the research scholars, in my cabin without any agenda, English language and research language also. You can do that out of your class also. Sit over a cup of tea, have a discussion for 1 hour, correct the students, so those who are wrong or those who are right, accept them. That environment has to be there. Otherwise, what happens is, go out of class, go to the library, write the exam, get the grades, get the degree, and go away. That is not the research and purpose of the research. Now, uh, my question is, my point is, the Western scholars do very well, most of them, not all, most of them. First, because they can afford financially, that's very important. But second is very, very important. They are fully devoted and committed, and they do the hard work. I was in charge of the American University Association to support their students when they come to India. Whoever used to come to Mumbai, they used to come to me to understand the basics and the whole, tips and the guidance to them. And their research is compulsory at undergraduation level, post-graduation level, and also above that. It's compulsory. Now, one girl student who was black wanted to do a research in India for her BA dissertation on dating between the girls and the boys, and TISS was one of the areas sample areas. No one talked about it. No boys, no girls, students talked about dating. It's a very faraway concept so far in India. And she was shocked. She was shocked because of the cultural difference between the American culture and the Indian culture. Even if the couple goes for dating, they will not tell you openly. And if you ask a person who drinks, do you drink? He will say no. That's the Indian mindset. Do you take non-veg? No, I don't take, but he will hidely take, hiding. Now, alcohol, drinking, non-veg are the indicators of impurity in Indian culture and lowness in the Indian culture. Now my question, basically my point is this. You have to be prepared to learn all this. See, the point is, suppose you come to Maharashtra and you don't know Marathi. Will not that affect your quality of data? Tell me. Or you will employ a translator, interpreter. That affects your quality also. So best is to learn the language, even the basics of the language before you go to the field. I have known from very close. She used to teach at Tata Institute also, the American scholar who settled in Maharashtra. She is very old now, 80 plus, for last 40, 50 years. She developed her own pedagogy, but also she has learned Marathi and written books, Marathi grammar books, published, and she used to go to US to teach Marathi there. How much courage how much devotion you need? One can definitely do. You may ask me also whether I have learned. I have picked up Hindi to great extent, good Hindi, my Marathi, and my English. I know 3 languages. But if I go to Telugu, I mean Andhra Pradesh, I must basically know the local language. If you go to Germany, 6 months compulsory course to learn German language. All these are the points that are likely to affect your work or thesis negatively or badly. Is it okay if I'm talking on the track or out of the track? Now, the exchange between the scholars and the universities within India doesn't happen. Exchanges between European universities, American universities, and India. Why not between Kerala University and Tata Institute of Social Sciences? Why not between Calcutta University, Delhi University, JNU, and the Kerala University? What's wrong? Why can't your students go for a month or 2 to the universities which are well known in research, social science research? Let them go. Spare some amount, reserve some amount for financial support to such kind of scholars. You get exposure, you get experiences, you learn, you get to know people around. I'll tell you, if you show your talent and the quality, attending national, international conferences, the scholars from abroad will automatically on their own give you the card and say, come to my university. That has happened with me. And that must happen with Dr. Samir also and with other research fellows also. Now, I'm not trying to say you go from here and migrate there and do your study. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, what is the difference doing PhD at Oxford, Cambridge, and London School of Economics and the Kerala University? What is the difference? Is there a difference? Yes, it is a difference. What is the difference? You must now think, identify, and analyze the difference and adopt those positive points of differences. Otherwise, what happens? You are a universal scholar when you say, I am Dr. So-and-so. So you are answerable to the entire world to defend, to elaborate, to explain your work, your thesis. Otherwise, what happens is that, a B.Ed, M.Ed level thesis dissertation and PhD level dissertation. There is a difference between a BA level dissertation. Now, research methodology is ongoing discipline, lifelong. There is no, end to it. But the question is, how do I get my thesis, the topic, and all the logistic into my blood? I still remember my PhD data, sample size, everything. Still there, it is in my, system. I don't say I am superior. I don't say I am a good teacher. I don't say I am a good scholar, research scholar. But whatever I say, perhaps has a meaning, is meaningful. Otherwise, what happens is this, that you may get PhD, you may get job also. You are doing a PhD for job and only for job. Job for what? To get married, to get good dowry. Job for purchasing house and get married and car. That is the limitation of the Indian, intellect and academicians. Tell me, the new generation. Currently, still some students are in touch with me from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. I'm very sorry to say, what they were 20 years before are no more now like that. When I joined Tata Institute in '83, what was that and what is today? This decline in the quality is because of multiple factors. One of the major factors is what I have been talking to you since then. So my point, my friends, assuming that most of you are the research scholars, my main address was or is only for the research scholar mainly. Now, please remember, you are to be mentally, rationally prepared to do the research. Then you have to get into real commitment and devotion. Next is your language. Next is your research language. Next, your writing skill, your reading skill, your comprehension skill, your observation skill. And ultimately, see, to prepare the scheme of chapters by itself is a skill. What will go into first chapter, second chapter, third and fourth chapter? Can there be 10 chapters? That means you are not doing justice to the data you have collected. And if it is secondary data, it's still a problem. So the point is, each chapter should cover one proposal, objective. Nobody will tell you the rule. There is no rule. But for your convenience, I'm telling you that you must cover all the objectives and achieve that through your data, support of your data. Data could be primary, data could be secondary. It could be a case study, it could be a comparative study, it could be evaluation study, it could be exploratory study, it could be with hypothesis, it could be without hypothesis, it could be a community based, it could be a... Now, between the lines, I forgot one thing. When you sit on to write your thesis, you must know your unit or units of analysis. What is that unit of analysis or units of analysis? If you don't know this, then you are writing bad thesis, bad quality thesis. Unit of analysis. Your respondent, one individual is unit, or the community is the unit, or the village is the unit, or all three are the units. So you are in thesis going, your approach is begins with macro level, goes to the micro level, general to specific. You cannot go from specific to general, general to specific. Now, given the international standards or given the international scenario, what is the importance of your topic? You must prove that. You must argue that. You must elaborate that, and elaborate with logical sequence. You cannot write emotionally. You cannot write, you see, another important complaint students, rather problem students face, scholars face and generally ask you is, how many chapters? More the chapters number, the better it is, or what? No. You are trying to digest the collected or prepared food. You must not it must not lead to indigestion or hunger, halfway food. Your stomach must be full and with satisfaction. Your recipe, your food items should be able to give you the taste and satisfaction and quantity, not to indigest that, underdigest that, or to omit out that. No. And you can do it. Definitely you can do it. Maybe last 5 minutes, and then we get into question answer session. And I would regret if I am boring you all. I don't know. I cannot see you, anybody. Your parameters are to measure your thesis quality at the international level today, because it's globalization, internationalization. And second, it is locally within India. Within India, indigenous, your thesis or your work should stand with quality and full satisfaction. But still then I would say, do not expect 100% perfectness. Don't get nervous, discouraged. Number one. Number two, your hypothesis may get proved, may not get proved, but still it is important for you to test the hypothesis, or framing a hypothesis by itself is skill, and testing is the another skill. If you know this properly, no one can stop you. No one can, question you or ask you to, get away. Only thing is this, that the Western countries have their language benefit, number one, which we do not have. But I am telling you, India has got very good potentials and the talent. Only point missing is its nurturing is not properly done. I'm telling you, I got into this profession by choice. I must humbly tell you, I qualified UPSC and I didn't join. I'm sorry, I am not telling you my greatness, but I'm telling you, your profession as academician is based on choice or compulsion. In India, it's mostly compulsion. But when there is a scope for you to do the choice, do the proper choice, the choice one does while getting married. You can't blindly go and anybody propose and get married. So is here. Your choice of profession, that is academics, your choice of thesis topic, your choice of your, what do you call it, universe of the study. It all depends on you. But if you do the repetitive study, if you write in a very bad way, you know, let me use the jargon. Research is nothing but collection of the facts that are interrelated, interconnected, interdependent, and they are analyzed in the report. That is thesis. That is research. Please do this. Do not get bogged down. Do not feel discouraged. Do not get what do you call it, you know, nauseatic. You are sitting in the class of business methodology with inhibitions or with the fear. Many students do not follow the language and the research language, and they go away. Now, by heart, memorizing things doesn't help you. The skill that is very important. You know, like you know, like you know, one foreign scholar stayed, a woman stayed in Tamil Nadu for with one family for say 15 years. Will you stay for 5 years, 2 years, 1 year? The question in education, you know, education research in education is still at a superficial level according to my understanding. More at the higher education level. The point is, you know, if you discuss the topic with your guide, you frame the topic only when you read something before, on it or around it. Then only go ahead for. Now, ICSSR has the library and section, big section is on the theses, completed theses. They purchase also. ICSSR. They are there. Now they must have, you know, put that into computer system also. Open the site, see the thesis there, see the, you know, topics and the repetitions and the quality and all that. One, UGC has this, you know, there are many institutions also, which we do not. But if I say I don't want to go out of Bombay, I don't want to go out of Kerala, and I don't want to go out of, you know, Madhya Pradesh, and I want to do, please remember, education of tribals, education of rural marginalized communities, education of the minority communities, where it is. Now, still the majority takers of higher education are first generation learners. Where are the studies on the girls, women's and higher education? You tell me. Very countable, very, very few countable. Now, there's a scope for you. Maybe higher, I don't say you don't do on elementary and primary. I am not saying that. What I'm trying to see, what are the gaps? Gaps in research, you must be able to identify. And that's why then it goes very well. Now, last point I'm trying to make is this, that your thesis is international document. And if it is published, it goes to British Library and the American Congress Library. The treasures of the books and the researches. There, people read seriously. Now, the point is, kindly do not hesitate, feel ashamed to ask anything and everything to your friends around, to your guide, to the professors, person like me, or whoever you find useful. I can learn from you many things. So you can learn many things from me, from Dr. Samir Babu also. We are good friends and we have been colleagues there in Central Institute of Rajasthan also. The, see, last point is, real appreciation is minimal in India. Don't get discouraged. People look out only at the gold medalists and meritorious. which is a stupid thing. According to me, there is no merit in India. I'm sorry to say this. See, I have never first class in my all degrees. The point is, merit, let it go with them, but you maintain the quality. That will give the merit, that will give the opportunities, that will provide you with every support.